So yeah, check out these boots. As soon as I got to Walmart, that's what happened to my Keen hiking boots today. That is how worn out my boots have become. The tread on my boots. And just walking over to Walmart after church today to go get some new boots, that's what happened to these pieces of crap. They're done. I got these new steel toe boots from Walmart. They were like 80 bucks. It feels like I got a whole new back out of this deal. So it was totally worth it. It was on your dime. I used my cash assistance card. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, all you taxpayers that I'm mooching off of. And, maybe I'll get something else on your dime next week. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam, back at you again. It's hashtag homeless. It's day number 80. And I don't really have a lot to talk about today, but I've got to kill 2 hours before it's time to wander over to church. And on the homeless front, I think the biggest problem I got to solve today are these boots. We had some rain over the last couple of days, and I didn't really get wet. I was lucky enough to be inside. Any time it was raining, I pretty much got to stay indoors, but the ground was wet, the grass is wet, and the rubber, the tread on these boots is gone. Like, there's whole sections of the boot where the tread is just gone. It's been obliterated. And so it's like that spongy foam material that's supposed, I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but it absorbs the water as I'm walking, and so now the water is rising up the bottom of the boot. And so if the ground is wet, my feet, the bottom of my feet are starting to get damp, just from the moisture transfer through the bottom of the boot. So I don't know, it's a long walk, and I'm just not, I don't know, I've got nothing else to do today, so may as well do it. I think I'm just gonna go to Wally World and pick up some boots, whatever they got. I looked online to see what they have in the store, just to get an idea. But they take the EBT cards at Walmart. And so there's the EBT is divided into 2 sections. You get food stamps and you get cash assistance. And so I've been pretty much saving all of my cash assistance money that gets dropped in there every 2 weeks. And I'm not spending it. I've got a few $100, maybe a little more. I don't remember what's in there. I've had to buy a couple of things with that money, but I have more than enough to get boots at Walmart. And so, I'm just gonna go see what they have. I honestly, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that I could use this card on Amazon, because Amazon supposedly takes these things. And the Keen hiking boots that I normally buy, I've been wearing the same boots for going on 6, 7, 8 years or something like that. Every time these boots, most of the time I replace the boots once a year, because even with hiking and all the different things I do, I tend to get about a year's worth of wear out of these Keen hiking boots and when I replace them, I'm replacing them because they don't support my feet and my body structure as well as they do when they're new. But they're still wearable as they're still wearable as an extra pair of boots to keep in your vehicle. An extra couple of pair. I have before I got arrested, I had at least 6 pair of the exact same boots all in a row, and you could kind of see how old each pair was based on, just comparing them with each other. But it was kind of funny to see 6 pair of the exact same boot, but it was because I would replace them once a year and just get a brand new pair every spring. And I could always find a good deal, because they're like $260 to replace these boots, but I could always get a deal. Normally I'm paying about $150 for these. One way or another, I'm getting a good deal on them. And so once again on Amazon, I could get the same exact boots. It was about $150, but I have to go through some hassle to be able to do this on Amazon. And I just, at this point, I think I reached the point today where I'm like, I got to go get some boots. And so Walmart, I could go there, buy a pair, whatever they got. They've got some different brands, and I don't think I'm going to spend $150. I think it might be $100. I don't know. It's going to be somewhere no more than $150 for a pair of sturdy, rugged, waterproof boots. Whatever they got, they may not be as comfortable. They may not fit as well. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know how my insoles, I have flat feet. I've had it my whole life. And the only thing that really has ever worked over the course of several years, I get these insoles from the Good Feet store. It's not a sponsor. This is not a paid ad. I would say when I was about 22 years old, I went to that Good Feet store and I tried their arch supports, and they worked. They worked really well. I could get into the details, but my shoes used to wear on the inside where the arch is. They would basically tilt inward as the shoes wear out, and they would wear out fast. And when I started wearing these arch supports, I noticed it helped my neck, my back, my alignment, my body. Like it was an instantaneous fix. And they're expensive as hell, but they replace them. They have a lifetime warranty. And so I've been replacing these arch supports whenever they flatten out for years. And now they charge you like $20 every time you replace a pair. But between the arch supports and these, they have these foam rubber insoles that go with them. And those are really hard to find. There are no stores sell these foam rubber insoles that go with the arch supports. And that's going to be a problem, because the amount of walking that I've done since I became homeless has worn these insoles. The foam rubber insoles are completely worn out. My big toe has rubbed a hole right through them, and that normally happens. But I've noticed that I'm tired. I have some back pain right now. I have some issues with just energy, and it relates directly to a worn out pair of boots. In these boots, it's amazing. So I don't really want to spend a lot of money on boots right now, because these boots were ground to a pulp in 3 months. 3 months of being homeless. Well, let's see, May, June, July, yeah, almost 3 months. And a little bit of the walking that I did before I became homeless, I had to walk to Jamestown and back here and there. It was 6 miles each way from where that apartment was. And so I have put some miles on these boots to the point where the rubber tread is gone. And so it's crazy. So I'm just going to get a pair of boots knowing that 3 months, if I'm still walking this much, I'm going to have to replace them again in 3 months. So I may as well not spend a ton of money. But that's something to think about when you're homeless. If you do a lot of walking, especially on pavement, it's going to wear right through your boots, right through your shoes. Shoes are a problem. And you definitely don't want to get cheap shoes. So I don't know. I got to try and figure out what to do. But I figure a brand new pair of crappy boots and whatever, I'm going to need to put the arch supports that I have. If you don't put the rubber cushions over them, it doesn't work right. And I've tried this in the past, and I've tried to find something equivalent to the foam rubber insoles that go over these things. And I never find anything that's even close to the same material and the same, like nothing else works other than the Good Feet foam rubber insoles. And I think there's a knockoff brand on Amazon right now where you can get those foam rubber insoles. They're just plain foam rubber. They're nothing special. They're nothing spectacular, but they work. And without them, the arch supports don't function as the way they should. And so this is like one of these I've got extra pairs of these foam rubber insoles. I've got 2 more pair because I always replace them when I get new boots. It's the first thing I do is put new foam rubber insoles in with them. And the boots that I buy today, they're going to have insoles that you can remove so that I can put my own in instead. And so, I don't know, there's a lot of little nuances to getting shoes that I have to go through. But when I get a good pair, a brand new pair of cheaper shoes is gonna make me feel a hell of a lot better than a worn out pair of expensive boots. So I'm gonna do it today. And man, I've been talking about boots for 10 minutes now. So I got time to kill, man. I got time to kill. I got church coming up here in a couple hours. And so I had some quiet time this morning, and I decided to read In Touch, the daily devotional. And once again, it spoke to me. Today's title is called Waiting in Faith. And the subtitle says, God created and rules over time. He will never be late. Our culture does not model patience. Just watch the frustration of drivers behind a car that doesn't move the instant the traffic light turns green. I just saw this the other day. I just watched a big fight break out over this exact thing just a few days ago. Tempers flare and horns honk. Living in a fast-paced culture has programmed us to expect everything immediately, including, how's it going? Good. I'm going to have to start over. All right, so our culture does not model patience. Just watch the frustration of drivers behind a car that doesn't move the instant the traffic light turns green. Tempers flare and horns honk. Living in a fast-paced culture has programmed us to expect everything immediately, including the answers to our prayers. I was just walking past an intersection 2 days ago, and I heard someone just jamming on the horn like, beep, 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 beep. Come on, motherfucker. Fuck you, motherfucker. Beep. And then we got the siren, the normal Jamestown background noise. That's all you hear is sirens and everything. It's crazy, this town. So anyway, someone was going absolutely nuts in a pickup truck. It's always someone driving a giant pickup truck, screaming and yelling at someone, but the light was red. So I don't know what the guy wanted the person in front of him to do, like run the red light. Like, he's just screaming and yelling, get the F out of my way, fuck you, you motherfucker, beep, 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 just like going absolutely haywire. And then the light turns green and the dude just lost it and just started like revving the gas pedal, like, rum, 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 and just like screaming and yelling. Like, are you really in that much of a hurry, dude? Like, where are you? You on your way to your sister's house to get some ass? I don't understand. Like, these fucking rednecks, they get on my nerves. So, have you ever been impatient or frustrated when God hasn't operated according to your schedule? Delayed timing from our human perspective is perfect timing from his viewpoint. An omniscient God who created and rules over time can never be late. Waiting on him requires faith. Just because we can't see what God is doing does not mean that he's inactive. I agree with that. The Lord works outside of our visible realm, orchestrating events to fulfill his plan for our life. His work is like a seed planted deep in a garden. We cannot see the underground process, but just as a budding plant eventually appears, we can trust that in time the Lord's ordained outcome will come about. Whatever problem you're facing, the solution is in God's hands. Cling to the truth of his love for you, his knowledge of all things, and his power over everything. Then you can walk confidently by faith rather than by sight, knowing that his good purposes will be fulfilled. And so there's something I'm dealing with right now. And it's definitely, I've got, after I get done reading this other thing, I'm going to get into that. Because, basically I've been spending, 11 going on, I think this Friday will be week number 12 of homelessness and the whole nightmare that I got tossed into. And I've just been waiting, like, what are you going to do? Like, God, what do you want me to do here? And so today is August 4th. And so the other thing that I like to read every day is Jesus Calling, the book by Sarah Young. You've heard me mention this numerous times now. I'm probably not going to read it every single day on these videos, but today it kind of just went along with what I'm going through. And so Jesus says, "Hold my hand and walk joyously with me throughout this day. Together we will savor the pleasures and endure the difficulties it brings. Be on the lookout for everything I have prepared for you: stunning scenery, bracing winds of adventure, cozy nooks for resting when you are weary, and much more. I am your guide, as well as your constant companion. I know every step of the journey ahead of you, all the way to heaven. You don't have to choose between staying close to me and staying on course. Since I am the way, staying close to me is staying on course. As you focus your thoughts on me, I will guide you carefully along today's journey. Don't worry about what is around the next bend. Just concentrate on enjoying my presence and staying in step with me." And so that spoke to me pretty loud and clear this morning, for the reason I'll get into in just a second. But as I was just reading this to you, it reminded me of when I'm walking around Jamestown. There are a lot of busy streets that are just nonstop, loud, obnoxious traffic when you're walking from one place to another. And if you take the main streets, it's loud and it's obnoxious and it's just, it's deafening, and it starts to wear you down after a while. Being in a loud, obnoxious city, I mean, it's no different than being in Manhattan and just the constant noise. Anytime I'm in a big city like that, after a certain amount of time, I got to get away. I got to find a quiet place. And that's just me. I value the quiet and peaceful. It's why I like to be out in nature so much. It's why I spent so much of my life going camping and doing those kinds of things and being out in nature, because the quiet and the solitude. I got to the point where sometimes I prefer doing those kinds of adventures completely alone, by myself, with nobody else around, because then I can just do what I want and enjoy the peace and quiet and the tranquility and not have to listen to anything, including other people. And it doesn't mean, it's nothing against other people. It's just sometimes I need that quiet time for my body and my mind to reset and recalibrate. And so one of the things I've been doing here in Jamestown is I try to find routes to go from point A to B as close to nature as possible, as quiet as they can be. So I'll take the back streets, the cul-de-sacs, I'll take pathways through the woods and things like that to get from point A to point B, so that I don't have to walk down the main streets and listen to the obnoxious, loud traffic and all that kind of stuff. And so today I noticed there was a trail going through the woods up on the hill behind me here. And I was thinking to myself, I want to see where that trail goes. And so now that I've got 2 hours to kill before, church begins 2 hours from now. And so I'm going to take that trail. I'm going to walk up the hill. I'm going to go behind me here and go up this hill, which is the back way to go to church, the quiet, peaceful way to go to church. And I'm going to see where that trail goes. And I'm just going to see where the trail comes out. I may end up, it's not going to cost me any time. I'm still going to be on time for church. So that kind of, that was what I was thinking about when I was just reading that to you. But when he says, as you focus your thoughts on me, I will guide you carefully along today's journey. Don't worry about what is around the next bend. Just concentrate on enjoying my presence and staying in step with me. And worrying about what's around the next bend, that's what happened to me yesterday. I was getting close to the end of the day at the library, and my best friend who lives down in Texas chimes in and tells me that the probation office is making forward progress with my transfer request to go down there and live with them. And it was pretty significant yesterday, and it's not 100% yet, but it's very close to the end of the process. And it's looking good. It's looking good. And so I've been being hounded about it by the people at the homeless shelter, and I told them, I said, yeah, I'll go look into it, which I really wasn't planning on going to look into it. I was just going to sit and wait until they tell me one way or another, because it's a process. And the last time I went through this process, it was 60 days. And it's been like 21 days as of this Tuesday, I think. No more than 28 days for sure. And so I was just not expecting to hear anything about it. Well, my best friend, he chimes in yesterday to let me know what's going on down there on his end. And he said to me, he said, well, isn't that some good news? And I'm thinking, yeah, it's good news, but my mind is already racing, and all I could really do is sit and worry about everything, even though I would have a roof over my head, and it's not a homeless shelter. It's not a halfway house. It's an honest to goodness roof with a bedroom and a door I can shut, and I won't have a bedtime, and I won't have to get up in the morning. I might be able to sleep for 2 or 3 days straight and let my body reset. Like I've been saying over and over, I have not slept past 7 a.m. Typically, I'm up about 6 a.m., sometimes earlier, but I have not slept past 7 in the morning since August of 2022. So I need it. My body's telling me all week long this week that it's running out of fuel. And but even though it was good news, but even so, all I could do is sit around and worry about everything. It's not 100% for sure yet, but it's close to the finish line. But all I'm thinking about are the problems that might occur. And it's stupid, and I know that it's stupid, and it's just it's just some internal mechanism I have that does this. So, I can put it to bed. I'm not letting it run my life, but I had all these nervous energy and thoughts about it more than the positive good news aspect of it. And I'm also thinking about how I haven't seen either of my kids for almost 2 years. 2 years. That's going to be a shock to my system, seeing my son, who I haven't seen since the night of my arrest. That's gonna hurt. I don't know what that's gonna do. I'm having a hard time just thinking about it right now. 2 years. And moving to Texas when my kids are in Pittsburgh, that's not gonna help that situation. But going down to Pittsburgh to live in some dirty ass halfway house isn't gonna help my situation either. It might make things worse. It might shoot down my mental state to the point where, I don't know. See, because when you're in prison and they send you to a halfway house before you're released, well, that's okay because you're halfway home. That's why it's called a halfway house, right? It's better than prison. But when you're out in the world and free, and you don't have a curfew, and you don't have to have a day pass to walk around outside, and you don't need permission just to go down the street somewhere, and all you have are a bare minimum set of rules such as don't leave the state without permission, and don't get high, and don't do crimes, and things like that. So now if you're in that situation and they send you back to a halfway house, well, then you're halfway back to prison. It's a whole different scenario. You're halfway back to prison. And that's not a good thing. So I already got sent halfway back to a halfway house by going to a homeless shelter with a curfew and a bunch of ridiculous rules to follow and being treated like a little 2-year-old kid all the time. And that will vary depending on the person I'm talking to there. But going to a halfway house, that will be a lot worse than this. A lot worse than this. So I ended up putting my cards in the test. I put my cards in the test. Wow, man. So I put all of my cards in the Texas basket and I crossed my fingers. And as of yesterday, that process is pretty far along, a lot farther along than I thought it was going to be by now. There's some paperwork to be done. It's still not a guarantee, but I certainly have hope that things are going to work out there. And I'm assuming and I'm hoping that there will be more opportunities to get on my feet once I'm there. And then once I'm on my feet and I start making money and I can take care of myself and all those things, then maybe I can move back to Pittsburgh and be with my kids. Or maybe there's another way. Maybe there's some other way that this will work. I don't know. I'm certainly looking forward to the possibility of spending winter in Texas instead of spending winter in the northeast quadrant of the United States. Whether it be Pittsburgh or Jamestown, New York, I would much rather spend my winter in a place that's not freezing cold. But I know for sure I'm worn out right now. Holy man, last night I almost completely passed out about 7 p.m. But I forced myself back out of bed because I didn't want a situation where I wake up in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. and then I can't go back to sleep. So I struggled to stay up until 11 p.m. I could barely keep my eyes open. And right now I'm so worn out that if I do end up going to Texas, when I get there, I don't know, because my body is trained right now for this sleep cycle of getting up at 7 and going to bed around 11 or 12 o'clock at night over and over and over. But right now I'm so worn out that if I do end up at my friend's house, I might fall asleep for 2 days. I might, I don't know. My body is just, I might just fall asleep and wake up 2 days later. It's happened a couple of times in my life where I've been that tired and literally slept. One time I was in art school. I had to stay up for an entire week without sleep. And I'm not kidding when I say that. The most sleep I got was about 15 minutes at a time. It was the most surreal, crazy, one of the most horrible experiences of my life, staying up for almost an entire week without any sleep. It was, to this day, that's not, I don't recommend that at all. That's not a good thing to do to yourself. That will cause lifelong problems if you stay up that long without sleeping. I mean, there were times I'd just fall asleep at my desk in class during that week and maybe get 20 minutes of sleep with my head between my hands and stuff like that, but I wasn't getting any actual, like, real sleep. It felt like one giant long day that never ended. And then I'm looking at people on Thursday and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, these people have gone to bed 4 times, 5 times since I woke up this morning. Because for me, it felt like I just woke up this morning, but it's Thursday and I woke up on Saturday morning knowing that I had to stay up for the whole week to get my projects done. And that week of staying up was the difference between failing half of my classes in art school and having like straight A's and B's. Because when you're in art school, man, the deadlines can be so intense. The projects, the things that they make you do, it's not like writing a paper where, especially these days, it's just a Word document and you can make a mistake and, you know, just retype the line. If you make a mistake on an art project, you get to crumple the whole thing up and start over. And when you're working on a 100-hour painting, and all of a sudden you've got to start over with less than a week left for the deadline, and you're dealing with 8 or 9 projects simultaneously that are all massive. Like, that was a nightmare. That week of my life was a complete nightmare, and I basically had to stay up for an entire week just to get through it. And then when I got through it, I took 3 months off from school. 3 months. I took a 3-month, I decided not to come back to school for the following quarter because the art school was broken up into quarters instead of semesters. So every 3 months. And so I dropped out of school for 3 months after that week of nightmare with the full intention of coming back. So I delayed my graduation date by 3 months by doing that, but I needed to do it because I was so completely destroyed from the experience that I had gone through. But after that whole week, I rode a Greyhound bus to my parents' house up in Rochester, New York from Pittsburgh. And the second my butt hit the seat of the bus, I passed out and just fell. At some point, they told me I was laying across the aisle across 4 seats. And I was so out cold that people were trying to wake me up so that they could get past me to go to the bathroom, and I wouldn't wake up, and they would just have to climb over me. Like, people thought I was high and drugged out because I wouldn't wake up for anything. I slept all the way up to Rochester, New York. That trip felt like the blink of an eye. And then my mom picked us up at the bus station and took me and my friends out for breakfast. And then after dropping all my friends off at their respective places, went back home to my mom's house. I said, I'm going to go take a nap. And this is like Saturday morning. I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I come upstairs and my whole family, my parents were like, dude, are you okay? You all right, Adam? And I'm like, why? What's going on? And they're like, we tried to wake you up. Like, we shook you and everything. You would not wake up. We thought we were going to have to call the doctor or something. And I'm like, what's the problem? They're like, it's Monday. It's like Monday evening. I went to bed on Saturday morning and I slept straight through till Monday evening as if it was just a regular night of sleep. I did not wake up. I didn't even realize Saturday, Sunday. It was like 48 hours or more. More than 48 hours I slept, just slept. And when I woke up, it was Monday evening. And I was still tired, and I still went to bed Monday night at some point. And then it was like everything was normal after that point. But don't stay up for an entire week. Your body will not appreciate that. So I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling today because I don't have anything structured to share with you guys, but I think I'm going to go get a pair of boots. Like I said, Walmart. I think I'm going to do that after church. I don't really want to, but I don't got, it's Sunday and these boots are they're done. If I go another week in these boots, it's better to do this today. I hope I'm able to find something there that'll get me through whatever I got to get through. But yeah, EBT, I'm going to put that on the EBT card, cash assistance. So whatever, I guess you guys are going to buy me a new pair of boots today. Because someone in the comments section pointed out yesterday that when you spend your whole life paying a third up to half of your income in taxes, and in my case, that would be 30 years worth, that when you need help, the government pretty much doesn't do anything for you. And I had to point out to the guy who made that comment that not only does the government not really do much for you, but I still have, the government will give you a little bit of a stipend, a couple $100 a month. But not only that, I'm going to have to deal with all the other people in the comment sections who are bitching and complaining at me for mooching off the system and living off of their tax dollars. And I'm like, and I have to say to myself, every single day that I talk about this, someone shows up in the comment section to complain about how I'm living off of their hard-earned money. And I have to kind of think back about, well, what about the 30 years worth of money that I put into the system? Does that count for nothing now that I'm taking money back out of it? Can I take some of that money back before you people start bitching at me about ruining your life and living off of your dime? Maybe I'm still making withdrawals on the deposits that I put into this over 30 years. I guarantee you that I have not made a dent in the amount that I've paid into it versus what I'm taking out of it. So, get out of here with your I'm living off of your hard-earned money bullshit. Seriously, you can go away. I'm not hearing it. So, but I also saw some post as I was scrolling through probably Twitter. And I don't know if this is real, but an illegal immigrant went to Target and left a receipt behind. And then the cashier took a photo of the receipt. And when you pay for something with your EBT card, and I know this because I do this, the receipt will show the balance that's left on your card for both the food stamps and the cash assistance. And this person had a balance, this illegal immigrant had a food balance of over $4,000 and a cash assistance balance of over $13,000. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is real. It could have been photoshopped. It could have been fake. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's real. But, just an FYI, I've been saving my cash assistance, and I haven't really spent any of it unless I need something hygiene related or something like that. And right now, my cash assistance balance is around $350, give or take. So FYI, if you want to scream and yell about people living off of your hard-earned money, how about going after the people who didn't pay anything into the system, who are getting 20 grand a month out of it? Or whatever they're getting per month, to where they have a $13,000 cash assistance balance and a $4,000 food stamp balance. Because they're certainly not giving American citizens that much money on the food stamps and the cash assistance. I can assure you of that. They're not putting Americans up in a 5-star hotel when we're homeless. Now, I would have to renounce my United States citizenship, go to Mexico, grow a Dirty Sanchez mustache, get myself a sombrero, sneak back across the border after becoming a Mexican citizen, and then maybe, if I'm lucky, I can get a 5-star hotel. Maybe I can stay at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City and get a $13,000 cash assistance balance and a $4,000 food stamp balance. But until I'm willing to go through all that hassle, no, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to have to go the legitimate route, find a job, start my own business, that kind of thing. I've been brainstorming some more about the business names. I'm not happy with any of it yet. The funny one, the obnoxious one that I was talking about yesterday, even though I really want to get it and I really want to use it, I'm just going to hold back and not do it because I want to make a living. And I think some people, I don't know. I might just buy it for $10 and put it up for sale, but I don't know. I might just leave it. I'm just going to leave it alone for now. But I'm not happy with any of the business names I've chosen. But there are probably 3 or 4 that I would be okay with. If I was forced to just make a decision and buy one, I think I could do it. There's one in particular that I think it would be fine. But none of them are screaming at me, yes, this is the one. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that moment where it's like a no-brainer. Buy the domain name and be done with it right now. And so I've got a bunch of them that I've kind of just... they're in my notepad file. And I'm just going to let them stew. And maybe something better will come up. Maybe something will pop into my head. Maybe something will show up right in front of me. And that'll be the one. So I'm just going to let it go. Until then, I was checking out Karen book yesterday once again. Now, Facebook is actually entertaining to me now because of Karen. For no other reason. Karen book. That's the only reason I'm scrolling through these posts anymore, because I want to click on the comments to see what Karen is complaining about today. And so the first thing I saw was a video of a amusement park ride. And it was like this thing that you could spin yourself, I guess, and then the ride itself spins. And there was this one person on it that was just spinning like crazy. Like someone grabbed the thing of the tilt-a-whirl and just got it going super, super fast, while everybody else on the ride was just kind of rocking back and forth on this thing. And it looked funny, and the ride's going around, and you see this one person just spinning and spinning and spinning. And I'm like, holy crap, that I would be throwing up a big spiral of vomit going around and around if that was me on this ride. And so I clicked on the comments, and Karen, right at the top, there's Karen. She shows up to complain about how someone should have stopped that ride and someone should have helped that person. How mean and how cruel. Well, turns out I did some homework on this, and turns out it was an autistic kid who was having the time of her life and was actually doing it on purpose and enjoying it. And supposedly this autistic kid, they let her ride the thing like 10 times in a row because she was having so much fun. But, you know, imagine if that kid had Karen for a mom. She wouldn't be having any fun. Fuck Karen. Man, anyway, Karen, it does not matter. I saw a video. This is so crazy. Karen book. I saw another video on Karen book. It was this little device that you put on a candle, and you slide it down the candle where you want the candle to stop burning. And so as the candle burns down, it reaches this point, and this little metal clasp will come over and snuff out the flame. And so what's the first comment under this one? Karen shows up to say, well, you shouldn't be burning candles in your home. It's dangerous. And then I see a photograph of a cat sitting in a cardboard box that somebody basically turned into a cardboard tank. And the cat was sitting in the turret of the tank, and I thought it was kind of funny. And so here comes Karen and Karen says that, I'm going to read the exact post. I pasted it right in here. Karen shows up to say, big negative. Amazon sprays their boxes with rodent poison to keep them from getting chewed on while in storage. I would highly advise you not to let your furry friend play with those boxes. All right, Karen, thank you for coming to take a dump in the punch bowl once again. Now, the next thing I see is a photograph of a famous slot canyon out near Las Vegas, out in the Utah or desert somewhere out there. I don't know. I can't remember the Antelope Canyon. I can't remember the name of the canyon, but it's a famous place that lots of people go. And it's a photograph at night looking up through the slot canyon at the moon in the sky. And so what's the first comment from Karen under the photograph? Karen, she shows up to say, I don't know how you got this photo because they do not offer nighttime tours. Like, what is your problem, you soulless bitch? Karen, you need to leave. Just go away. Nobody can have fun when you're in the room. I'm not kidding when I say Karen shows up to take a dump on every single freaking post on Facebook. That's why I'm calling it Karen book from now on. There's another post. This guy, I've seen this a million times. A guy will pour molten aluminum down an ant hole in the yard, and then he'll dig it out to show you the structure of the ant colony underground, because of the aluminum goes through all the crevices, and it basically fills in the entire ant colony. And then he digs around it and he pulls the aluminum out from under the ground and shows you what the ant colony looked like. So yeah, of course, Karen shows up once again, and she's screaming about how inhumane that is to kill all of those innocent ants in such a cruel fashion. And I'm like, this is the same bitch who would call the exterminator if she even saw one of these ants in her suburban McMansion. So I'm not kidding. Karen shows up to every single post on Facebook to take a dump on whatever that post is about. There's another video that I saw. A couple, they're driving down the road and they've got these two cats, and the cats are sleeping in this little hammock that they made hanging from the roof of this van. And these cats are just chilling. They're just chilling. So yeah, Karen shows up. She says, well, that's very cute, but what happens when you have to stop suddenly? I have traveled many miles on the interstate and multiple pets were thrown out of the vehicle in a crash. I'm not even gonna wrap my head around that one. I always crate my animals and buckle them in a seatbelt. Okay, Karen, thank you. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Can't have any fun with you in the room, can we? So then I see a video of a cow walking around with a painting on the side of it. And I'm like, I thought that was kind of weird. It was a weird painting and it was kind of funny. It was a funny video. But here comes Karen. What in the world will you people do next? That cow is not a human. That's cruel. And plus, the poor cow was probably forced to stand still while you painted the side of it. That's just sick. What are you people going to do next? And I'm thinking, well, I don't know, Karen, what about turning the cow into a bunch of hamburgers? Maybe that might be a little bit worse than putting a painting on the side of a cow. I don't know. Oh, my goodness. I mean, Karen out in the suburbs is fine with painting their kids' hair blue and mutilating their genitals to turn boys into girls and girls into boys. But no, we can't paint the side of a cow. Shut up, Karen. I'm sick of you. Here's another one. There was a photograph, and it was just a photograph of some logs made out of a certain kind of a tree from Brazil that's like really red, and it's used to make guitars, I guess. Well, here comes Karen. It's so heartbreaking to think that we might lose this incredible tree species forever just to make musical instruments when we have alternative materials that can mimic the sound. And then she's got a bunch of tree emojis. So, yeah, all right, Karen. Thank you for your words of wisdom once again. And then the last one that I saw yesterday, some fishermen caught some weird-looking... It was weird. It was this white-looking salamander thing, and it looked creepy as hell. And Karen shows up in the comments, leave him alone and just put him back where you found him. That is so cruel. And I'm like, I don't think I would want to keep it and eat the thing. I'm assuming that they threw the thing back in the water after they took a few photographs of it. But, you know, Karen had to show up to take another dump in the punch bowl once again. But it's crazy. It's so crazy. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say every single post on Facebook, every single post that I see, it's just nothing but Karen in the comment section screaming and yelling and complaining and throwing a fit about whatever it was that got posted. It's crazy. And now I'm having more fun reading all of these complaints from Karen and all the comments of the Facebook posts than I'm having the post reading than seeing the posts themselves. So that's the only reason I'm scrolling through Facebook anymore, is because I just want to laugh at whatever Karen had to say. And so, you know, I could do this all day long, but it's probably time to wrap up this video. And I'm just going to say, you know, I'm grateful for the fact that I might be able to go to Texas and not be homeless. And that could happen pretty soon. But once again, I'm just living day to day, and I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and I'm just going to rely on God and hope that He has something in mind. I'm thankful for you guys for making it this far in these videos and keeping this channel going. And when I do get a roof over my head, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to start talking about other things. I don't know what this channel is going to be. Leave some suggestions in the comments. If you made it this far, you're one of the super fans, and what are some of the things you'd like to see on this channel? I'm open to ideas there. I have a feeling that I want to teach photography. That's something for sure. teach photography and photo editing, but I don't know if this is the channel to do it, because when you change topics on a channel, it drives the algorithm crazy, and all of a sudden I might get no views for my photography stuff and no views for any of the other stuff. So I got to think about that a little bit. And it's only but if I do start a different channel, even though I think the name of this channel and the username for this channel is more appropriate for the photography stuff, I don't know. We'll figure this out. This is something to worry about another day. But I'm thankful I haven't gone hungry for the last 10 weeks. They brought us chicken wings yesterday from some restaurant in town, and it was delicious. And I was so full after dinner last night that I went and passed out. It was like Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all the other things. I'm thankful that I have the equipment to do this and all of that stuff. I'm just going to give you a couple of plugs, and then I'm going to get out of here. The mailing list. Sign up for the mailing list if you want to get a good deal on some photography for your walls. I'm going to be putting that out as soon as I get 20 images up on the stores. And that's free.litgood.com. You'll get an email right back. It's automated. You'll get an email back that says that takes you to a place where you can download some free wallpapers for your phone and for your desktop computers. And the store is at shop.litgood.com. And the digital chicken bucket, if you just want to throw some bones in a chicken bucket and donate to what you see going on this channel, then that is available at donate.litgood.com. And I'm just going to do a quick time check here. We're at 50 minutes, so I'm under the time. I'm still able to post this to TikTok today. All of a sudden, my TikTok views went from getting 5 to 10 views on a video to now I'm getting 600 plus views on a video all of a sudden. I don't know what happened there. That is a wild situation on TikTok. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I still don't care about TikTok. I don't even really know how to reply to people's comments on TikTok. That whole app is just a complete disaster. I don't understand how people are cool with using that app. I don't understand how it got so big, being a total piece of trash. I don't get it, but there's so many things in this world I don't understand anymore. It's pointless to try and figure these things out, because I don't even think I want to understand why. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. I hope everything that you are trying to accomplish today goes your way. And we'll talk tomorrow unless something doesn't go my way today. So, peace out.